Hey guys, it's Jeff. So I got another quick video for you. This one's going to be on the New York Attorney General's most recent press conference that they just announced that they were going to call for the disbanding of the NRA. Coming up. Hey guys, I'm back. So what was the purpose of the press conference? Well, the press conference was to announce that the NRA was being dissolved, or there was going to be a legal process to begin to dissolve the NRA because of widespread corruption. Now, I think for most people, this means this is an attack on the Second Amendment, and I firmly believe that to be the case. But what does this mean from a legal perspective? Well, based off of the information that was presented in the press conference, what it means is this is going to start a legal battle with the New York Attorney General. This was a civil filing because nonprofits are covered by civil law, and therefore the Attorney General can only apply civil remedies for this. And in her civil remedies, she's not calling for the removal of the management. She's calling for the removal of the entire organization. Now, supposedly from the press conference, if you had a chance to watch it, if not, I'll kind of cover it here. What she said was, because the NRA filed nonprofit registration in the state of New York, that the state of New York has jurisdiction over allowing it to continue as a nonprofit. So I found that a little interesting. I wasn't aware that's how that was done. But one of the reporters did ask, what's to prevent the One of the reporters did ask what's to prevent the NRA from moving out west, say somewhere more friendly like Wyoming. And the response was what I just laid out, that it was created in the state of New York and therefore falls under New York jurisdiction. So I guess we can expect that this is going to generate a legal battle. Some of the questions about some of the corrupt individuals, about defrauding the members and misappropriating funds, etc., she said she wouldn't go into, and that there's a potential that it could be forwarded to the IRS for investigation. I guess we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. Sorry, I'm just reading some of my notes over here. So in the press conference, one of the bias questions I think were hinted at was, when she was asked about her personal feelings about the NRA, and her response I think was probably the most telling in the whole press conference. Her response to the bias question about keeping her personal feelings about gun crimes out of this. However, that statement alone, gun crimes, when referencing the NRA, is making a subliminal connection between the NRA and crimes involving guns. And I don't think that's a fair comparison, and it's very indicative of her bias in this whole press conference. Another statement that she made throughout the press conference was she didn't follow the evidence where the evidence took her. She followed the evidence to confirm her conclusion that the NRA was an organization that needed to be dissolved. And I think if you listen to how she says that, you can kind of come to the same conclusion that I did, that she was looking for confirmation bias in her investigation of the NRA, and when she was able to find multiple layers of corruption with multiple people in the organization from the executive level, that was enough confirmation for her to enact her decision to call for dissolvement of the NRA as an organization. I have my issues with that. So, how do you feel about this? What are your positions on this? Do you still support the NRA? I think, I'm a lifetime member of the NRA. I'm a lifetime member of the GOA, lifetime member of the VFW, a lifetime member of a lot of organizations that I firmly believe do good for us as a whole. Now, I think a lot of people that have followed the internet, gun culture on the internet and social media, a lot of you guys have been aware that for a long time there have been issues with the management of the NRA. I think Wayne LaPierre's done some good stuff. I think Wayne LaPierre's done some really shitty stuff. So, what are your opinions on this? Do you support the NRA? If they were able to remove the corrupt individuals that are being investigated by the Attorney General, potentially the IRS, would you support a reorganization? Me personally, I would. I supported Adam Kraut's efforts a couple of years ago, or over Yeah, it was a couple of years ago. He made a couple attempts to try to get on the board of directors of the NRA, and those were blocked in some capacity. He made it pretty far, but it took a lot of energy and effort out of him, and I don't think he's interested in doing that anymore. But I think there's a lot of opportunity to get some good people into the board of directors for the NRA and really correct some of the positions that they have. They also are a very powerful organization. They have a lot of lobbyists. They have a lot of people that have connections to politicians in the organization, and I think that their ear is listened to on Capitol Hill, and I think that's important. You know, the GOA is doing a lot of great work, and I you know, I'm a lifetime member of them too. I support their efforts, and I think that the legislative actions that they're taking are very important. But the NRA, you know, even outside of the legislative efforts, just, you know, being a good steward of gun ownership and training people and you know, youth programs and those sorts of things, I think those are worth salvaging. I think they do a lot of good work, and I think that despite the corruption at the top, I think that the organization itself is worth salvaging. But you let me know, what are your opinions on that? Do you feel the same way, or do you think it's better off for the Second Amendment community to just completely get rid of this organization and let people's efforts go into other organizations, you know, state rights associations and that sort of thing? But I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. You know, this is one of those efforts that we see again out of New York. You know, the media covers it. It's one of those big deals in the liberal communities where, you know, they take a lot of pride in attacking conservative values, conservative views in New York. They live in a bubble. It's a bubble that doesn't necessarily reflect the opinions and views of the rest of the United States of America. And so but because of the press is headquartered there, we get a lot of single-threaded thought processes coming out of these media organizations because they live in this bubble. They don't live in the rest of the world. They don't live in the rest of the United States where you and I engage and find these freedoms to be worth preserving. They live in a very close-knit group of people that they don't get a lot of opinions and ideas outside of their bubble. So anyway, I just wanted to bring this to you real quick. This is hopefully a short enough video that you're not going to click through too much and you've learned something from this. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. You know, subscriptions are what really motivate me to continue to make this kind of content for y'all. And you can follow me on my other social media, Instagram.com. I put a lot of content on there. Not always gun related, just related to things that I do find interesting. And Bitchute.com is another alternative platform for video viewing. So anyway, that's it, guys. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.